This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. So today we are starting our DevOps course. As part of that, just we need to set up some playground kind of thing to practice and all. Okay, some prerequisites in order to start DevOps course. So that we are going to discuss in today's session. Okay. So anyone missed that demo session? What is meant by DevOps? So why so many companies they are moving to DevOps methodology when compared with the other software development lifecycle models like waterfall model, agile model? What are the benefits that we are going to achieve with the help of DevOps practice? Those things that we have discussed in demo session. Just watch that video if you missed the demo. Okay. So in today's session, just we are going to set up some playground, how we are going to use that for our daily session. Okay, once we are done our session, if you want to practice, so where you can able to practice it. So simply, if you have a Windows laptop, so there also you can able to practice. That is the one way. Suppose let's say if you have a Windows laptop, there you can able to practice. That is the one. Suppose let's say you don't want to do practice on Windows. Maybe some companies they may use Linux as well. Okay, so Linux operating system they may use. So if you want to work closely with the Linux operating systems, so we may need some additional operating system on uh, so we may need some additional operating system on the same laptop by using some other packages called Oracle VirtualBox or VMware. So these kind of softwares we can able to install on Windows laptop, and then we can install another operating system parallelly on the same laptop itself we can use. Okay, that is the one alternative. If you anyone have these VMware or Oracle VirtualBox, they can able to install any one of the Linux operating system because there are multiple Linux flavors are there. We can say Ubuntu operating system is there, Red Hat operating system is there, CentOS is there, um, Fedora is there. So like that, different Linux operating system flavors are there. Whichever it is comfortable to you, okay, or which is available. So just you can try to install that one and you can do that part. But instead of doing all these things manually in our laptop, so we have suppose we will get some cloud knowledge as well because most of the companies they are using cloud plus DevOps technology. Mostly they are looking for that, and if you already have some knowledge on AWS cloud, that is well and good for this. If not, just I'll go to cover a couple of AWS services, okay, one or two services which are required for our DevOps course that I'm going to cover maybe in today and tomorrow session. Okay, later just we will start our DevOps course. So in AWS is nothing but AWS is nothing but Amazon Web Services, which is one of the cloud provider. Okay, which is provided by Amazon. So what is meant by the cloud provider? What it is providing means it will provide a lot of services. Okay, directly we can go and we can utilize the service. So how we can get that one means, so first we have to create an account. Okay, so we can say for practice purpose we are creating that we can call it as a free tier account. So AWS will provide this one for 1 year, almost 1 year they are giving it free of cost. So we need not to pay any amount to use that account and all. We can able to practice at free of cost. So now we will see first how to create this AWS free tier account. Okay, I think most of the persons will aware. If anyone not know this process, just you can go and this is the portal actually. Okay, so this is the AWS portal. Once you will log in, if you created already and if you log in, you can see this is the portal where you can see AWS management console. So first time if you don't have this AWS account, so in the browser you can type AWS free tier. So here you can see free cloud computing services AWS free tier link is there. Just you can click on that link. There you can see create a free tier account option is there. Create a free account option is there. Let's click on that. So inside that, create a free tier account where it will ask some details. Okay, so complete sign up. Here, actually, I already signed in, right? That's why it is showing in the same window. If I try to open, maybe let me try to open in incognito window. AWS free tier. Let me open this link, aws.amazon.com/free. This link we have to click to register our account, to set up an account. So here also there, create an account or create a free account. So just click on any one of the link. So this is the page where you can able to create an account. So sign up. First time you are signing up, you are creating an account. So you can set some mail ID, okay, and then some name, your name, and then just click on verify email address. Once your mail ID is verified, later it will ask some additional details. Actually, I am not creating and showing that. You can able to create actually. So if anyone not have this account for practice, just provide your mail ID and your name, then verify your mail. I think you will get a verification mail. So later, maybe it will ask your address, and whether you are creating this account for personal use or business, or some options will be displayed. Just you have to select that personal, and then it will ask your address, communication address. You can provide your address, whatever you are having, and then it will ask some payment details as well. So payment details is nothing but, because at 1 year of it will provide free only, but maybe if you are utilizing more than the free tier limits, there are some limits are there. 1 year free means it is not entire free. So most of the services which they are providing at free of cost with some limits, means we can't use a server 24 by 7, all 365 days. If it is free means, so maybe some 720 hours of a server, EC2 server, we can able to use. Okay, like this, there are some limits are there for each and every service. Within that limits, we can able to utilize to avoid the billing, to avoid the cost up to 1 year. Okay, so suppose if you exceeded that limit and all, so they won't debit that amount automatically, but you have to provide a credit card or debit card details to verify your payment, whether you can able to do the payment or not. Maybe once this 1 year is completed, or if the account you are utilizing the services which are more than the free tier limits, then at the end of the month you will get some billing. You have to pay that bill. Okay, so at the end of the month, whatever the resources that you have used, for that resources clearly they will give a detailed bill saying that this particular service you have used, so this much month, this much amount of bill you have to pay. So like the total some amount of bill you will get, and then you have to pay that amount. Okay, so usually we will try to avoid get that bill by following some limits and all, whichever it is available in free tier. Okay, but once the payment details are provided, they will deduct some 2 rupees just for verification purpose, and they will credit back that I think within a week or so. Okay, just for verification purpose, they will debit this amount. So once you provided all the details, and there is a verification also will happen. Verification in the sense, you have to provide your mobile number, then they will call you and they will display one OTP in the screen, and you have to enter that OTP in the call. Okay. So once all these things are completed, you are ready with login to your AWS account. This is how, like how I have logged into my account earlier. So this is how you can able to log in. So let me try to log in from the scratch. So if I want to log out from the account or log out or sign out, just you can click on your account name on the top right side and just click on sign out. So from this portal, you can able to log out. Suppose if I want to log into this portal, means AWS console or something, you can type in the browser. So this is the one, AWS management console is there, right? Let's click on that one. and you can select this log back in or sign into the console. Any one is fine. So let me click on sign into the console. So here there are two options are there. One is called root user, other one is called IAM user. So by default, so first time if you created your account, you signed up just now, and then you want to log into that account means you can't able to log in with the help of this IAM user. So you have to log in with this root user only. Means that, so whenever you created an account, you will get some root, means you are registering your account with some mail ID, right? That is called the root user username, and the password you will set something to log into your account while setting up your AWS account only, while signing up your account. That is called the password. Okay, so root user and password. So these things will be helpful once you created the account to log into the portal. So next time onwards, you will be logged in with IAM user. So IAM user means you have to provide your account ID or account name will be there that you have to provide, and then IAM username, and then IAM password. So these three details are required to log into your account. If you want to log in as a root user, the mail ID root, or we can say the root user mail ID and its password. These two details are sufficient if you want to log in as a root user. Suppose the IAM user is nothing but IAM is a service inside AWS. Okay, so IAM is nothing but identity and access management, which is helpful to maintain some permission. Suppose let's say there are some 10 members are there in my project or in my team. So among those 10 members, maybe some 5 developers, 5 testers, or let's say one team lead, one manager, kind of one team is there. So I want to give the access to my AWS account or the company's AWS account. Okay, so here just we are creating an account for our practice purpose. So once you joined in a company, so you have to given the access to that AWS services which are belongs to the organization. So at the time you will create a separate user inside the IAM service. Suppose for 10 different people, you are going to create 10 different users, and inside IAM you can able to control what permissions I have to provide. Suppose let's say once that particular person, there is a developer one is a one user, developer two is a one user, developer three, something like that, tester one, let's say tester two, something like there is a lead, team lead is there, lead one, lead two. So two people are there. Let's say there is a manager. So like the total, these many people are there. I want to create a user for this dev one means whatever his name. So with that name, we are going to create an IAM user, and we can set some password, and we will share that credentials with him so that he can able to log in and all. And while creating the IAM user itself, we have the control. Okay, as a cloud engineer, suppose as a DevOps engineer, we have to manage that IAM to grant the permission. Suppose let's say this particular developer one, I want to provide these permissions inside my account that I can able to restrict. And as a cloud engineer or DevOps engineer, I can able to control the permissions which the manager can able to access inside my AWS account. So manager will not involve managing these permissions and all. Maybe he will give some directions. Maybe this particular person requires this permission. Hey, just grant these permissions. Like that, they will suggest us or they will guide us. So we have to grant the permissions depending on the lead or the manager sessions or the people, rest of the people's requirement or their demand. We have to grant those permissions, but everything is under our control. So creating the user and granting the permissions, what and all services that inside AWS account other IAM users can access, those control will be within that cloud engineer, DevOps engineer's control. Okay, depending on organization to organization, that will vary. So currently, let's maybe we have created our account, free tier account by this time. So we have our root user, root mail ID and password. Okay, so then you can able to log in. So you can select that root user, and I have used this mail ID to register my account, okay, which is my friend's mail ID. So let's click on next. Then you can just type this verification code, whichever it is displayed. Feel free to stop me if anytime if you have any doubts and all, okay? Or you can paste in that, there is a chat window is there in GoToMeeting. Just you can paste your queries over there. In the end of the session, we will discuss. So you can type the password which is set while creating your new AWS account. Okay, so I have set my password. I have given my password. So let's click on sign in. So this is how you can able to log into your portal. So this is how your portal will look like, and AWS is providing a lot of services. Here you can see all the services list. Here just I'm seeing the recently visited services. These services, let's say I have visited very recently. So inside that you can see IAM is the one service which can manage all the users, authentication and authorization. So whether they are not, whether they are using proper username and password to log into their AWS account, and whether they have the sufficient permissions to access a particular service. Those everything we can able to control inside the IAM. Okay, and that we will see. And one more service that we are going to discuss, which is EC2. Okay, these two services at least I am going to cover if possible today. First, let me go and create a IAM user. Okay, let me go to and see how we can create a other users. So just to be logged in as a root user, but the root user credentials also we will not get in the organization. We will not get this root user credentials. Only the manager or director level they can manage this root user and password. Suppose if it is a very small organization and all, maybe they will share that credentials with us. But if it is very large organization, we don't have the control of that root user and password. Okay, manager level they can manage that, and they will create a IAM user. Okay, and one more thing, if you have any urgent work or okay, you can just leave the session if any time. No need to intimate me also. You can continue the video. I'll share that recording, maybe 1 or 2 hours I'll upload in the Google Drive. So if you miss any part on a daily basis, just you can go through that video. So now, once we have a root credential, so first time maybe you will log in with that, and then you will create an IAM user. So what will happen in the larger MNCs and big organizations will be, so they will create an account. So maybe director level, they will create an account for their team purpose. So they have their username and password, root username and password, like how we have logged in now. So they will log in and they will go to IAM service and they will create a user for us as a cloud engineer. So our DevOps engineer, they will create a first IAM user to us. So they will give almost complete access to that AWS account to us. Then we can log in, and there onwards, next time users, all the developers and all the remaining people. So we have to create a IAM user. Okay. So now we will see how to create that IAM user and all. Let me search the services list over here. So if you click on this services button, you can see all the services which are available. And whenever you are putting this star symbol in front of that service name, that will be added over here. So you can make some services as favorite so that you can daily, without going and searching that particular service, you can just click on that service name so that it will open that portal. Here you can see IAM I selected as my favorite service. So let me click on that. It will open a IAM portal. Okay, it will open a separate portal which is called IAM, where we can able to manage the users and all. See, here currently the users list is 0. There are no users which I have created to log into my AWS account. Root user will not be displayed over here. Okay, by default that root user will be available. So other IAM users we have not created any. Suppose if you want to create, you can click on this 0 button. Otherwise there is a user section is there. You can click on that one also. Here you can click on add user. So You can give one username. Suppose let's say I'm giving my username as, let's say Suresh is the username which I am using. Okay. For Suresh, let's say Suresh is the one person joined in a company. So I want to create a IAM user. Suppose if you want to create multiple users, you can create. Suppose let's say Suresh, Ramesh, something like that. Two people joined. You can create a user at a time, multiple users also like this. 10, 15, whatever you want, you can create that many users also. But don't share the credentials of Suresh and Ramesh, maybe in single mail with them. You have to share the credentials of Suresh with him separately and Ramesh with him separately. Okay. So, and whether you want to provide them, there are two ways of connecting to your AWS account. One is via this way, how we are logging and we are accessing, right? That is called this one, AWS Management Console Access. Means via UI we are able to work with. So there is a programmatic way is there. So in that you need an access key and secret key. So here we need a password, right? To log into your account, we need a username and password. So in this programmatic way, you need an access key and secret key. Okay, if it is required, that we are going to discuss in further sessions. If it is really required, but if it is, we are going to cover this part in the cloud AWS course. Okay, DevOps, if it is required, we will cover. So if you want to provide either programmatic access or console access to these people, that you can select. Suppose for now I'm just providing both the access to them, and here you can able to grant some password. Let's say this is their username, this is this Ramesh username, but I want to set some password to them, some custom password. I can able to set it whatever I want. Suppose I don't want to set some password, you can select this auto generated password. Means automatically the password will get generated. And there is a checkbox, require password reset is nothing but if you select this checkbox, so it will provide an option to reset the password once they are logged in with their username and the password whatever we said. So it will provide an option to reset the password because we know the password of that particular person, right? So it should not be like that. So this checkbox we have to select so that it will provide the option to reset the password of that particular user. So let's click on next. And if you want to add some permissions automatically, so there is a attach existing policies. You can select this one, and here you can select some permissions or policies which are already created. So policies are nothing but the permissions inside IAM service. Let's say I'm going to discuss about IAM, right? Inside IAM, there is a subtopic called users. There is a subtopic called which is called groups, and there is a policies also there. So users means we are going to create some IAM users, right? That is nothing but the user section. So we can create some groups also. Suppose all these developer people, let's say there are 3 developers or 4 developers are there in my team. So for all those people, maybe I want to create some common permissions. So I will create a group which is called dev. I'm just going to add all those people to that particular group. So I can maintain the permissions at the group level instead of at the individual user level. Okay. So here you can create multiple users. Let's say Suresh is the one user. Ramesh is the one user. So like that, you can create multiple users. Similarly, here you can create multiple groups. Let's say dev is the one group. Testing is the one group. Like that, multiple team names you can create. A category of people. Let's say all the developers you are going to add inside this dev group. All the testing people you can going to add this group. So like that, multiple groups you can create it. So let's say I'm just going to add some permission. So to all the development people, so then you can add the permission at this group level. Suppose if I want to grant some permission to only Ramesh, then you can go and add the permission at the user level instead of at the group level. If you add at the group level, automatically all the persons inside that group, they will get the access. Okay. So this is how users and groups will be helpful to manage some permissions, whether the particular person needs to have the permission or not. So depending on that, the users and groups will work. So policies are nothing but the permissions, whether I want to add that particular policy or permission to a particular person or not. Suppose let's say what what is meant by these policies or permission. Let's say there are multiple services are there, right? Inside AWS, there will be around some 500 plus services are there. So which service the particular person I want to grant the permission? Suppose let's say IAM is a one service. So IAM, whether I want to grant the permission to the Suresh or not. So whether Suresh can able to access that IAM service or not. So if I provide a permission or a policy called IAM full access, then he can able to log into that IAM service. He can able to work with that particular IAM service. Means he can create a new user, or he can delete the existing user, or he can modify the permissions of that particular user. Okay. Suppose there is a IAM read only access is there. Read only access. So there is this one more policy is there, which will be helpful to just manage the read only related permission. Means he can able to see the existing users, he can able to see the existing groups, he can see the policies. So like that, just he can read the data whichever it is existed, but he can't able to create a new user. Suppose if you attach this policy or this permission to a particular user or group, so that particular person, he can just read the data whichever it is existed, but he can't able to create the new resource. Okay, so if you want to create a new resource, you have to grant this IAM full access. That we will see now. So let's say just I'm giving an example of IAM service. Suppose there is a EC2 service is there. Sorry, here I am. There is a EC2 service is there. For EC2, there is a policy which is called EC2 full access, and there is a policy called EC2 read only access. So like this, there are multiple. Suppose there is a S3 services there. So S3 full access is there. There is one policy. So S3 read only access is there. So like this, there will be multiple policies are there, which the service, for each service, they have created two policies. One is full policy, that particular service name followed by full access. Other one, that particular service name followed by read only access. So if you want to search that particular policies, here you can search. Suppose let's say IAM full access. If I'm just typing that one, okay, maybe IAM, they will give the name directly with full name, identity and access management. Let me search that one. Why IAM is not displaying IAM? Let me refresh my screen once. It should display only that particular name, okay, which is matching with that IAM full access. Don't know why it is not working. Suppose let's say, let me try with some other policy. S3 full access, okay. I think currently it is not display. It is displaying all the policies, but I don't know why it should be. See, this one is okay. I think there is a space is there which I'm not should use, which I should not use. See, S3 full access. If I'm trying to type something, see it is showing Amazon S3 full access. So if you select this permission, okay, so the particular person can able to access. There is a service with name which is called S3. Okay, so he can able to access that particular service. Similarly, for IAM also we can able to display that IAM full access. See, yeah, actually I have used some space earlier. I should not use that. So IAM full access is there. Suppose let's say I don't want to provide IAM full access. Maybe I want to provide only IAM read only access. See, you can select that particular policy like this. Just click on next, review, and then create users. That's it. So then it is going to create the credentials. Suppose this is the Suresh user and this is the password to log into that portal. And suppose if we want to access via programmatically, this credentials, access key and secret key will be helpful. So you can download this CSV. First time if you are creating a user, you have to download this CSV. If you doesn't save this passwords, and if you click on close, you can't able to see the passwords at all. Okay, so that's why you have to download this CSV, and maybe you have to share that Suresh credentials, only these Suresh credentials with that particular person, and Ramesh credentials with that particular person. Okay, so this is how you can able to create an IAM user, and you can grant some particular permissions to him. So now let me try to log in with that Suresh user. Okay, so let me download that credentials, and then let me click on close. I'm just closing my window. See, currently there are two users are there. If I select any one particular user, let's say Suresh user I'm selecting. And for that particular user, here you can see the permissions. If you click on that particular user, you can see the permissions, what it has. He has some S3 full access. He has some IAM read-only access. This policy will be automatically added. These two we have added. This policy, IAM user change password. He can able to change his password. This will be automatically added. Okay, so now he has these policies or these permissions are there. Now I will try to log in. Suppose if I am a Suresh user, I'll try to log in with that particular user. So let me open my incognito window. I will try to log into that portal. So AWS console, if you try to open that one. So if you have some IAM user credentials, how you can able to log in, that I'm going to display now. See, instead of root user, the IAM user will select this IAM user option. So, but he need this account ID also, which account I'm just going to log in. So you can get that account ID inside the IAM username. Otherwise, in this home page also, you can get that one. Here you can get that account ID. You can provide that one here. So just remove this hyphens. I think hyphens we should not use. So let me click on next. So then it will ask username and password. Let's say Suresh user, I am trying to log in. Username will be Suresh only. The password for that particular Suresh user I want. Let me get that password of that Suresh user by opening the CSV file. You can see the Suresh user password. See, this is my Suresh user password. And click on sign in. So once I click on sign in, here you can see it is providing the option to set some new password. This is how. Let me add one extra field. One. Just I'm setting some new password. This password, the person which I have shared, which I got the credentials, right? Maybe one cloud engineer or DevOps engineer who has created my user or password. He don't know the new password which I am going to set. Later on, this new password will work. The old password which he said will not work. So confirm password change. Now you can see as a Suresh user, I have logged into my AWS account. Here you can see that Suresh username also. Okay, here you can see that Suresh username also, and here you can select whatever the region name that you want to work. So inside that Suresh username, currently if you want to go to IAM service, let's say, and if you try to create a new user, it will not work. Okay, so let me go to IAM user. He has the read-only access, right? Means he can see the users list which is already existed. He can see the users names and all. See, there are two users. I can see that, but I am not able to delete the user and I am not able to create the new user. Let me try to delete that user. If you want to try to delete the user, he don't have the permission. See, the user Ramesh not deleted because this particular user which I have logged in, Suresh, doesn't have the permission to delete that Ramesh user. So how he will get that permission? So as a root user, so currently I just switch it to the root user, and I'm just going to provide that permission, IAM full permission instead of this read only permission. Let's click on this add permission, attach existing policies. Here you can select that particular permission, IAM full access. So once I added that permission, let me go to that Suresh user, and now if he has the full access to this IAM service, he can delete the user also. It won't throw any exception. The user will get deleted simply. See, see now Ramesh user is deleting because he has the permission. We have provided that permission. Now the user got deleted. Okay, this is how you can create the users and you can add some permissions at the user level. So now currently I'm logged in as a Suresh user and I have the full permissions, right? So you can able to add the permissions also whatever you want. Okay, this is about some IAM user section, and there is a groups is there inside IAM. So where you can create some group and you can add all the users inside that group so that you can able to manage the permissions at the group level. See, suppose I'm just going to create a group which is called dev, and I am going to add the users. Here, all the users list will be displayed. Currently, we have only one user. That's why it is showing. Suppose if you have 10 users, so you can decide while creating the group itself, you can decide which people belongs to this particular group. So that you can select the check boxes of the all the users, whichever belongs to this development group or dev group, so that they will be added. So if you are granting some permission at the group level, so that all the people will get that particular permissions or policies which are attached at the group level. Suppose individually, if you want to attach any permission to a particular user, that you can go to the user section and you can add that particular permission. Okay, this is about IAM that I want to cover, just to know how the AWS they will create some users and they will grant some permissions. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about EC2 service. Okay, which will be helpful for us. Daily we are going to work with that EC2 service. So let me go back. I'm just deleting. I don't want to use this IAM service. I will daily log in with the root user only. Just I'll show you how you can create an IAM user and you can log in with that particular user. So for individual developer or tester or the people, if we are created a separate IAM user, then we can easily identify by mistake if someone deleted a particular important resource or if someone deleted an IAM user of the other person, so that we can know which particular developer did that mistake, which particular developer or user has created a particular resource. We can able to know all those details. Okay, so for that purpose, the IAM service will be helpful.
Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe.